What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So I just finished watching the final episode of Tulsa King. My reaction is under my YouTube memberships. If you guys aren't aware, I've got YouTube memberships over there, and I've got exclusive stuff over there for members only. That's where you're going to be able to see my reaction to this show, along with a bunch of other movies, excuse me. I've got two levels of memberships over there. Level 1 is for $2.99. That's $2.99, and you're going to get priority replies from me, special polls, and live streams. Level 2 is for $4.99, and you're going to get everything that level 1 has. Plus, you're going to get all of my reactions to all of the shows that I watch, any movies, and all of my uncut Try Not to Laughs. Now, this final episode was very interesting, and I do not like the way that it ended. So, this episode started with the reason behind why Dwight got locked up for 25 years. He did explain when he was on the date with the lady who runs the ranch. He told her on that date that he killed somebody. He was in a burning building, and I don't know if he said something along the lines of sparing him or trying to save him or whatever the case may be. So anyway, in the beginning, we see that Chicky and Armand and the other guy, what's his name, Victor, he annoys the heck out of me. And I was hoping that at one point Chicky got whacked, but he didn't. He irritates me. So anyway, we see that they were in this building with this guy. They called him Ripple. I don't know why they call him Ripple. But it's the first time I think that we hear of the name Ripple. They got him handcuffed to a heater, an old school heater. And this was in Brooklyn in 97, right? So Armand was the one who called Dwight. He was like, Dwight, get over here. They got Ripple. It's really bad. Just hurry up and get here. So, Chicky, being the Chicky that he is, he's got a freaking, it looks like a potato masher. You ever see the potato mashers? They're kind of like, I think it's a potato masher. It's like that swirly metal utensil. It's a kitchen utensil. That's what it looks like that he has in his hand. And I guess they've been kind of firing it up or whatever. He wants to brand his face, and he ends up branding his face. So at this point, I don't know what the guy did. I don't know why they have him there. They didn't explain that. But Armand called Dwight. Dwight came over. They backed off when he got there. And at this point, they threw the utensil on the floor, which was still lit up with the heat. And it started to catch fire because there was papers all over the floor. So they were trying to get him, they were trying to get Ripple off of the heater, and they couldn't do it. So, I think Victor came over. They were trying to pull the heater. They didn't. They were trying to put out the fire the whole time. I think Armand went to go grab the curtain. It just made the whole situation worse. The whole room went up in flames. He told him, he was like, just go, leave. And he was trying to get them out of there. They left. He stayed in the room, and he was like, I'm sorry. Like, he was like pleading with him. He was like, get me out of here. Get me out of here. He was like, I can't. I'm sorry. He's like, but I'm not going to let you burn up in here. And he shot him. So on his way out, he's the one that got caught, Dwight. And that's why he got arrested, but he never ratted them out. So now fast forward to the present. So now they are preparing for war with this guy, the bald guy. And the feds have his laptop. So they know that he's got like millions of dollars somewhere because he's been stealing. So he's rich. Now we know that the last episode, I keep calling her Sophie. Her name is not Sophie. Stacy. Man, I'm sorry. Stacy. I think that's her name. Anyway, she got shot. Dwight, made sure that she was good. She got in trouble because she was with Dwight. So she's in the hospital, and he pays her a visit. And he's like, I owe you my life. And she's just like, they're kind of going back and forth, and they're having a moment, and he brings her flowers. And I'm like, you know what? She's like, I'm going to lose my job. He was like, I'm going to make this right. I'm going to make this right. And she was just like, Like, she thought that, like, basically her life was over. I'm thinking they're having a moment. I thought that when she got out of there, they were going to get together. You know, I don't know what he was going to do, but I know he was going to go after the guy that did it to her. So during this whole process, they're preparing. Meanwhile, Armand lets Dwight know that Chicky's in town. Dwight apparently didn't know this, even though we saw that they were having a conversation where Chicky told him, you know what, I'm going to come in town. We'll all go. We'll break bread or whatever. He was like, nah, you ain't got to do that. So I guess he didn't know when he was going into town, but he did. So now we see that they're having almost like a standoff. So it's Armand, Dwight, and Tyson. And then Chicky and his goons, what's his name, Goody and Victor, right? And they're all having words or whatever. And Dwight basically was just like, or Victor was just like, you're talking to the boss of the family or whatever. He was like, no, I'm talking to the boss of your family. This is my town. I run this, basically. So y'all need to get the heck up out of here. So then he tells Goody, he was like, Goody, you really want to work for this guy or whatever? And he's like, you got 30 seconds to make a decision if you want to go with them or stay with me. I didn't expect that. Goody went with Dwight. So now he's part of his crew. He works with him now. I'm like, oh man, now there's a price over his head. At that point, we see like them walking away, and I thought that maybe Chicky was gonna shoot Goody or something and start an all-out war. But that didn't happen that way. I kind of expected it to, but it didn't happen that way. I don't know why it didn't happen that way. I don't know. I mean, I was okay with it, but I kind of expected a little, you know, now that there's two mobsters are kind of going head to head, and one of his guys went to the other team. So it's like, I kind of expected some mob stuff to go down, but it didn't go down that way. Kind of disappointing, but it's all right. So anyway, they go on, they're in the bar. Now he's talking to them, and he's basically saying like, look, this is about to be an all-out war. He's telling them how he's giving them a few words about his, you know, the way that he feels about being alone and, you know, getting older. He basically ain't got time for this. So they're all preparing to go to war because they know what's about to go down. He goes to Bo to tap into the bald guy's laptop to steal all his money, right? So at one point, the feds are looking at the laptop and they're trying to get in. And all of a sudden, the money disappears like that, right? Bo went in, tapped into there, and took all of his money. So they saw that, but they obviously don't know how it happened. Then we see Tyson went and dropped off a card to Stacy at the hospital. In that card was a drive. She had her laptop in front of her. She put the drive in, and you see that he sent her $1 million. Because in the card, he said, I can't pay you enough, or I can't pay you back enough. Basically, this should do for now type of thing, and sends her $1 million. So I'm like, wow, like he must really like her, you know? And I'm sitting here like, oh, she's good. She's set. So then we kind of see that, let's see. I don't know if this I don't remember if this happened before or after. I can't get my thoughts right. His daughter's in town. So his daughter's in town. No, this is after the fact. So when they take the money out of his account, we see that the bald guy is in his little garage looking spot, and we hear him screaming, and it is the funniest thing. He's like, because he sees that his account is at a zero. He is going nuts. He's got nothing. And at this point, like, he was already setting up for his boys to lay low and everything. So now it's a real war. The guys at the bar knew what was up. So the guy that runs the bar, he was having a talk with Babe, his father, right? And he was basically telling him, like, look, I'm going to shut the place down for a while, because he already knew they were going to sabotage the whole, it was going to go an all-out war at the bar. So he knew that bar was going to get torn up, but they were going to rebuild it anyway and turn it into a bar/casino. So he's talking to his dad and he's letting him know, he's like, look, I just kind of felt like this guy came out of nowhere. He came in looking like he was part of the mob, and I just had a feeling that he was going to change my life, and he did. And his father gave him approval. He was like, he seems like a nice guy. Are you sure about this? And he was just like, yeah. And so, of course, they're all sitting at the bar, minding their business, having a drink. He's playing his guitar, and all of a sudden they hear the motorcycles, right? And it's go time. So they all get up, they go. They have sabotaged the whole place already. They have lined up the entrance with, I guess it's like timed shots or something. As soon as they walked in, they're getting shot. They all come up from behind the bar. Now they're having all out shootout. And Dwight is the one who ended up killing the bald guy. And like it was nothing. Like he stuck him against the wall, shot him in the face or wherever he shot him, and that was that. So of course the place was torn up. I think Tyson got shot, but I assume he survived. Everybody survived. Everybody was fine. So after that, we see that he's at the ranch. Dwight's at the ranch. His daughter is there. At first, we see two boys on a horse, but then when we see his daughter, it's like, now this is nice. Him being able to be introduced to his grandkids, and she's there without her husband, and they're having their moment, and she's started calling him dad, and then the lady who runs the ranch comes in, and they're talking, and they're kind of trying to get him to get on the horse, and it was a nice little family moment, and so then towards the end, we see that they have relaunched the bar. They're having a big party. The guy who runs it is finally on stage with his guitar. He's singing. Everyone's having a good time. The place looks really, really nice. They make an announcement that they're launching their casino. They got their casino license and everything. So everybody's having a great time, right? His daughter is there. He's dancing with his daughter. His daughter's having a moment, and she's like, we haven't done this in a long time. And they're having like a father-daughter dance. And all of a sudden, the big guy comes and he's like, there's a lady outside waiting for you. He was like, who is she? He was like, I don't know. So he was like, all right. So at that moment, the guy who runs it, I forget his name. I don't know if his name is Mike. He like is singing a song to him, dedicated to him and everything. And the whole time he walks outside, and it's Stacy. So Stacy's outside. Now, mind you, before this, we see a clip that she's talking to her boss. She's talking to her partner. They're sitting there, and they're talking to her about what she did, and she's sitting there nervous, and he's just like, her partner was like, basically like, I vouched for you, and this is what we're going to do. And so they tell him, well, you can keep your job and come back in 6 months under one condition. Cut. Immediately, I was like, please tell me that she is not about to do what I think she's going to do. Fast forward, Dwight walks outside the club as they're celebrating. She's standing out there, and he's just like, you want to come inside or whatever? I'm glad you came. And she's just like, I can't. Cops, feds are there. He's looking at her like, tell me that you didn't. And she was just like, I'm sorry. I was so mad. This dude, like, you had sex with him, you liked him, you tried to help him out. Y'all were side by side doing your Bonnie and Clyde stuff, and you got shot with him. And he gives you $1 million to repay you, and you want to keep your job. I mean, that's not, you want to keep your job, fine. But the man gave you $1 million just set, right? She turned him in to keep her job, and probably kept $1 million that he sent her. And so his daughter runs out, and she's like, what is going on? And he's like, ask her. And she turns to her, she looks at her, and she's like, please tell me this isn't happening again. He's like, I'm sorry. And so we don't know what he's being arrested for, but I'm mad that she turned him in after he sent, they did. They said that he was trying to bribe a police officer. So that's what he was getting arrested for. He was getting arrested for bribing a police officer. Not murder, not killing, but bribing a police officer. So I am hoping that this gets renewed for a second season because I absolutely loved this series. I'm mad that she turned them in, but overall, you guys, I give this show a 5 out of 5 toodles. I think that Sylvester Stallone did an absolutely amazing job playing Dwight Manfredi. I think that he brought that New York Italian mob side. Not that he was a mobster, I mean, I don't know. But he brought that mobster role to life. Chicky, I don't know. Like, there's so many things up in the air as it ended that I really feel that they're going to do a second season. I hope they do a second season because there is him going away for fraud, but he's not being charged for murder or anything. And Stacy knows the stuff that he's done. Stacy knows the stuff that he's done. So, in my opinion, maybe she felt like, you know what, I'll keep my job, but maybe I'll turn him in for something that he can probably get out of. Or maybe I'll turn him in for something that he won't have to do a lot of time for. You know what I mean? Like, there's a little bit more to that I kind of maybe want to see. What was the outcome of that? There's the reopening of the club. What's going to happen with the crew? Armand is still there. Goody is part of the crew now. There's a casino coming into town. You got everybody on board. They took the bikers down. So, and the rest of the guys, so there's no more biker crew. They got all their money. Let's see, the daughter, I feel like the daughter didn't care what her husband felt like. She was going to do what she wanted to do anyway because she wants that relationship with her father. So I feel like she may stay in Oklahoma. We don't know. We don't know. There's still something a little off with the character of the lady who runs the ranch. Something about her. Like, I feel like there needs to be a little bit more to her character. Maybe something later will pop up if there's a second season. I don't know. Dwight, I would like to see how he gets out of this, if he's going to get out of it. Nothing has happened to Chicky yet. Apparently, he just took over the family, so I feel like there's more to come with that. Like, I feel like there could be so much more things, so many other doors that could open with all these different things happening at the end of this season that there's got to be a season 2. There's got to be. There's got to be. Come on, Paramount Plus. Give us a second season of Tulsa King. I think that Sylvester Stallone did an absolutely amazing job with this. The whole crew did an amazing job. Everybody brought their characters. Everybody played their role really well. Yeah, 5 out of 5 toodles, man. I hope for a second season. Leave your comments down below. Let me know if you agree, disagree, you're feeling different. What are your thoughts? Let me know if you enjoyed Tulsa King. If you want them to have a second season, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. Hit like, share, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys can get notified whenever I pop up on your feed. I'll see you guys later. Toodles!